time to react to takes. I came up with this idea because I got a lot of takes, reactions, thoughts, comments, all that sort of stuff. I particularly got a lot of thoughts from my Locked On Ducks insiders over there, who I asked for some takes from, got them, and we're going to kind of rapid fire these off. We'll see how long I spend on each one. So we're going to get the not as optimistic takes out of the way, and then we'll get to the more optimistic ones as this goes along. So based on the spring game, one of you said that you weren't overly impressed with the defense or the quarterback play. I'm going to go right off the bat with a 1 because I liked both of these things. I thought all 4 quarterbacks were really impressive. And by the way, I am open to debate, hence the whole premise of this show and me engaging with your guys' questions and thoughts. So let me know why you feel these things. But I thought the defensive line looked really good. I thought there were a lot of playmakers in the secondary. I thought the coverage was really good, and passes just got completed because they were precise and accurate down the field. I thought there were a lot of really good things. The defense definitely had a couple of iffy moments. The Jaden Lamar touchdown, not a great, they called a corner blitz, so the safety was then pulled out of the middle of the field, and Mateo got blocked by Janoris Wilson. It was a really good block from him at right tackle. And Braden Platt got caught up in the wash inside, and then there was nobody home. And then on the long slant to Dylan Gresham, I don't know what Peyton Woodyard was doing. Now, I can go on the offensive side as well and say, oh, these weren't great moments. This wasn't very good. Overall, I thought the defense was good. I thought the quarterbacks were great. I talked about that on yesterday's show. One of my biggest takeaways was all 4 quarterbacks looked really good. Dante Moore's interception was on a Hail Mary at the end of the game. Like that's not affecting, if you were to just look at his stat line and say, oh, he threw an interception. No, didn't see that. I got another take. Dante Moore looked disappointingly like the same guy who played at UCLA. Again, this is a 2. This is not a 1, but this is squarely a 2. I didn't see bad decision making. I did not see, he tried to kind of tackle Blake Purchase, who wasn't having anything of it on the scoop and score. I did not see, and I didn't see those signs. Now, is it different when you're going against guys in a scheme that you see in practice all the time? Sure, it is. But the problem that Dante Moore had at UCLA was he kept throwing the ball to the other team. He didn't do that except for a Hail Mary here. I didn't see the bad decisions. I didn't see a guy who wasn't aware of how much time he had in the pocket, which was also a problem at UCLA. He got the ball out of his hands. He made decisive reads. He was accurate. He threw the ball down the field several times. When he did have pressure in his face, he got the ball away before, he might have been hit. Because there were obviously a couple breakdowns in protection along the offensive line. But no, I don't agree. Don't agree with that one either. And again, I'm getting all the negative ones out here. I get that you can have this sort of reaction, but I'm just not in agreement with you guys. That's okay. Because another take that came in was Novosad looks like he has grown. Fact check true. But lots of room to grow. No confidence in either him or Dante to be the guy. Well, one of them's going to be the starter. That just depends on what you mean by the guy. I'll put this one at level of agreement. Can I split this up? I can because it's my show. Novosad looks like he has grown. 8 out of 10. Yeah, I'm in pretty darn solid agreement there. That he looks like he's grown. He looked comfortable. He was operating the offense well. The deep ball accuracy was really good. No confidence in either one of them to be the guy. I feel like either one of them could actually. So yeah, I'm gonna go back down to a 2 on that one. So those are the negative ones. We've gotten them out of the way. I thought the quarterbacks showed themselves very, very well. I was happy with how they played, and I thought they all did things a bit differently. But overall, that deep ball from Novosad to Dacorian Moore, that is a high level throw. The deep ball Dante Moore at Jurion Dickey, high level throw. Like A+ on the quality of throw given the difficulty of the situation. So yeah, all right. So those were the more -1. Now we're going to have a little bit more agreement here. One of you sent in that Luke Moga and Akili Smith look great. 10 out of 10. I could not agree more. I did not anticipate either one would look as good as they did. They both look comfortable, poised, strong arms, accurate placement of the ball. I like that a lot. Now, one of you came in with a hot take, at least an optimistic hot take. I'll give you that. Luke Moga has a legit chance to start. Okay, I'm gonna put this at a 4. Okay, this is a 4. This is a 4 out of 10 for me. The reason I say 4 is not because I think he has a shot to start necessarily. I think he could, with how competent he looked, have a role in a special Brian Bennett, Colt Lyerla type package. Lining him up next to Kenyon Sadiq would be fun. But I don't think, with Novosad and Dante Moore, you have two non-running quarterbacks. They're not immobile. Dante moves better than Novosad does. But Luke Moga is, as I said yesterday, the best athlete to play the quarterback position at the University of Oregon since Marcus Mariota. He has got more athleticism than Vernon Adams. He is faster than Justin Herbert. He is faster than Anthony Brown, even, who's a good athlete. Bo Nix, he and Bo Nix are close in that regard. I think Moga is quicker. Bo Nix is certainly fast. That was part of the reason he was a 5-star quarterback coming out of high school. But I think you could see, not that it's likely because we haven't really seen it in the past, but hey, new stuff is not out of the realm of possibility. If you get down to the red zone area and you've got like 2nd and goal from the 5 and you put Luke Moga on the field and have him orchestrate a quarterback run, you get him on the edge. It's going to be tough to catch up to him. So I could see it. I could see it. That's the only reason I put that at a 4, though. Chance to start. I think this is going to be one of the third-year guys, Dante Moore or Novosad. I suspect Dante Moore. One of you thinks that there's a smaller gap between Austin Novosad and Dante Moore than some people might previously thought. I am at about a 7.5. I'm bumping that up. That's 8.5. I strongly agree with that sentiment. And it's a great revelation for the Ducks. You never know because, of course, no one ever plans to get hurt. You never want anyone to get hurt, of course. Novosad's going into his 3rd year. He's been with Will Stein since Will Stein arrived. Stein helped recruit him coming out of high school and flipped him from Baylor when Oregon lost Dante Moore to UCLA. There should be a high level of familiarity, and it looks like there was, between Austin Novosad and this offense and his offensive coordinator. He sat there and watched Bo Nix run it for a year. He sat there and watched Dylan Gabriel run it for a year. He should be the backup quarterback. And that's a position. It's like any type of insurance. You never think about it until it's the most important thing in your life, and you have to have it. So, yeah, I think that there certainly is not as big of a gap, and I've pointed this out with Novosad all spring long. He was not recruited to Oregon to be a backup depth piece filler at quarterback. They didn't know Dante Moore was going to come back from UCLA to Oregon one day. Certainly they kept tabs on the relationship and hoped, but they couldn't possibly have known that. They recruited Novosad thinking this guy could be our starting quarterback one day. He looks that talented. And if Dante Moore starts this year, stays healthy, and comes back in 26, I'd fully expect Novosad to hit the portal. I wouldn't blame him because that guy looks like a starting caliber quarterback to me. He's beefed himself up physically from the time he was a freshman, and he just looks – he looked like a starting quarterback out there. Quick release, accuracy, decision-making. I liked a lot of the things that he did. So, yeah, I think that Dante Moore's ceiling is higher. He's got a little bit better arm with a quicker release, and he's a little bit more mobile. I don't think this is the same sort of gap that you'd have between, say, Bo Nix and, in retrospect, Ty Thompson. Like, when those two were on the same team, yeah, not close. Ty Thompson's now a tight end at Tulane. So that gap, not very big, or that gap was the Grand Canyon. This is not that. This feels to me like Darren Thomas, Brian Bennett. Darren Thomas, Brian Bennett. I mean, Brian Bennett started several games. You watched and you went, "Oh, that guy's good. That guy looks really good." So Yeah, I'm on board 8.5 with there's a smaller gap than people might think between Austin and Dante Moore. Last one here for today, and there's still more of these that I'll get to on today and tomorrow's show. The O-line looks surprisingly good, though a bit inconsistent. I think the inconsistency is because you have mixed and matched units going up against defensive linemen that are going to start, like, Fox Crater a couple times got beat pretty bad. By who? Elijah Rushing or Mateo. And it was like, yeah, okay, that's not a reasonable expectation. So I'll go 7 with that. I thought there were some running lanes. I did think the quarterbacks had some time to throw to take those deep shots time and again. They hit some, they didn't hit some. I like the competitive balance going back and forth. Made me feel good about where Oregon's team is at. So, yeah, I too thought the offensive line, based on what I'd heard about it going into my viewing of the game, I'd heard, oh man, the D-line dominated. And I watched it and thought, well, I mean, the D-line was better, but I expected that and kind of thought the O-line held their own. So, yeah, I like that take as well.